Hello, my second grade warriors. This is Mrs. Farwell here to deliver a lesson on telling time. I thought about the last time that we were in class together. That was the lesson that we had started to work on. So I only thought it appropriate to continue with telling time. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first, the standard for our lesson on telling time is 2MD.7. And the standard reads, tell and write time from analog and digital clocks to the nearest 5 minutes. Okay, so our objective for this standard is I can tell time to the nearest 5 minutes. I want you to repeat the objective back to me. Let's go. Okay, excellent. So let's go ahead with the vocabulary that we have for this lesson. Okay, our vocabulary words, and you're going to repeat after me. Analog clock, digital clock, hour hand, minute hand, and skip counting. So with the vocabulary words, I have included a picture to ensure that you get the full understanding of our vocabulary for this lesson. So let's look at the analog clock. So I have included a picture of an analog clock, and this is what it looks like. Let's look at our digital clock. This is a picture of the digital clock. And I want to point out something with the word digital. Okay, do you see a word in the word digital that we have previously discussed in our math lessons? Okay, if you said the word digit, you are absolutely correct. Okay? I wonder if someone remembers what the word digit means. I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it. Put your thinking caps on. Okay, I think I heard someone say that digit is simply any number. And you are absolutely correct. If you look at the digital clock, it only has digits. You don't see the hands of the clock. You only see the digits. Okay, so let's continue. Our next vocabulary word is hour hand. And on our example, we have an hour hand, which is the short hand. The next word is minute hand. And this is our minute hand, the long hand. And the last word that we have is skip counting. I wonder if someone can tell me, what do I mean by skip counting? And how does it relate to telling time? You are absolutely correct. When we skip count while telling time, we take our 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and so on, and we relate it to the minutes of the clock. And we'll discuss that when we start actually telling our time. So those are our vocabulary words. Okay, so now, let's go ahead and look at our anchor chart on telling time to the nearest 5 minutes. So we have 2 steps. Our first step involves our hour hand. And it says that the hour hand is the short hand. So if you look at your clock, There is a shorthand and there is a longhand. And the way that you can distinguish between the two, the shorthand doesn't go all the way up to the number that it's pointing to. It points towards the number, but it doesn't go all the way to the number like it would if it was the longhand, which would be our minute hand. So let's go ahead and look at what it says about the hour hand. It says, look at the shorthand, find the number it is pointing to. And if you look at this one, the shorthand is pointing to the 12. So that must mean that our hour is 12. It says if it is between two numbers, the smaller number is the hour. So I'm going to give you some examples where the shorthand is pointing in between the two numbers, and I'll show you how to figure out what the hour is. So this is what the hour is. This is our hour hand, and it's pointing up directly to the 12. So our hour is 12. Okay, let's look at the minute hand. Okay, the minute hand is your long hand, which is almost on that 5. So it says, look at the long hand. Start at the top of the clock, which is at the 12. And then you skip count by 5s to determine what your minutes are. So this is what they mean. So if our long hand is here, we're going to remember that it's right here. So we're going to start at the top of our clock, and we're going to skip around the clock until we come to where our long minute hand is. So this is what we would do. We would say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So our minutes would be 25. So the time is 12:25. Okay? Are there any questions? Okay? So let's go ahead and actually tell time with some examples. Okay? Now, I'm going to take this clock. You're going to look at this clock for me. And we're going to follow the steps for telling time from our anchor chart. So let's look at this clock. Okay, the first step is you're going to identify your hour hand. And is your hour hand the long hand or the short hand? The hour. Okay, so if you said the hour hand is the short hand, you are absolutely correct. So let's look at our hour hand. Okay, so our hour hand is pointing directly on the what? 5. Very good. So I'm going to get my ink pen or my marker so I can write 5. Okay, because my hour is 5. Okay, very good. Now, let's look at our minute hand. Okay, our minute hand is our long hand. And if we look at it, we start at our 12. And we're going to skip count 5, 10. So this is where our long hand has stopped. So we stopped at 10. So what are our minutes? Great. You said 10. So what is our time? 5:10. That is exactly what I wanted to hear. Give yourselves a round of applause. Okay, we have another one. Okay, let me show you this one. Okay, this clock is the next one that we will do. Okay, let's follow our steps. Step 1, locate your shorthand, which is your hour hand. Do you see it? Okay, tell me what the hour is. So I'm going to look at my shorthand, which is my hour hand. And it's pointing to what number? You said the 9. That is exactly what I wanted you to say. The hour is 9 o'clock. So let's write 9. Okay. Now, let's locate the long hand, which will tell us the minutes. Okay, this is our long hand because it's pointing directly on the 4. Okay, so let's start to find out what our minutes are. And on our anchor chart for step 2, it says look at the long hand, start at the top of the clock and go around and skip count by 5s until we get to the number 4. So this is the top. We're going to say 5, 10, 15, and 20. What does the clock tell me about my minutes? What are my minutes? You said 20? Good job. The minutes are 20. So what is the time? You are absolutely correct. The time is 9:20. Very good. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Okay, I have another one. And this one may be a little bit tricky, but you are smart, and I know you will not have any problems with this one. Remember, we were talking about if the hand was in the middle of the hours, like it is here. It's not exactly on the 9, and it's not exactly on the 10. It said that you take the smallest number. So let's look at our hour hand, which is a shorthand. It's right here. Is it on the 9? No, it's not. Is it on the 10? Not exactly. So how do we determine what the hour is? Well, we know that we just passed the 9, but we haven't gotten to the hour of 10. So that means that the hour is still what? Very good. You said the hour is still 9 because it hasn't made it all the way up here to the 10. So our hour is what? 9 o'clock. Very good. Okay, let's look at our minutes. So we know that this is our long hand. So we're going to start at the top of our clock. And we're going to skip count by 5s until we reach this minute hand all the way over here. So let's go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So what would we say would be our minutes? Okay, 40. Very, very good. So what is our time? Our time is 9:40. Boys and girls, you did an excellent job with telling time to the nearest 5 minutes. Now I'm going to leave you with one last clock, and you're going to tell me the time all by yourself. So I'm going to put this clock so you can see it. And I want you to tell me what time it is. Adjust it just a little bit. Okay. I want you to tell me what time it is. If you need to refer back to the anchor chart for your steps, let me move over. Okay, are you ready? Okay. Before you tell me what the time is, I want you to have a turn and talk with someone at your house and tell them how you figured out what time was on our clock. Okay, class. Let's look at our clock. Okay, the first thing we did was located our shorthand, which is the hour hand. And that's the shorthand. This is directly on the 4. Very good. So our hour is 4. Now, let's locate our long hand, which tell us the minutes. Okay, let's start at the top. Let's skip count by 5s until we come to our minute hand where we stop. And this one will be short because we start here at the top and we say 5. Because that's our minute hand. So what would be the minutes? Okay, I heard you say 05, which is right. So what would you tell the time? What would you tell someone the time is? 4:05. Very good. Boys and girls, I think that you have done a fantastic job, and I'm so glad that you remembered everything that we had started to work on as far as telling time to the nearest 5-minute mark. I am so glad that I had the opportunity to deliver this lesson for you today. I hope that you stay safe. I hope that you stay at home. And soon this will all be over. Until we meet again, bye.